Have you ever wondered where mythical creatures go when they retire from their adventures? Are you ready to embark on a journey filled with magic, redemption, and camaraderie? Welcome to the Monsters Retirement Home, a captivating adult sleep story that will transport you to a world where elderly monsters find solace and friendship in their golden years. In this sleep story, you'll discover how the magical haven's residents come together to break a powerful curse and, in doing so, find the true meaning of friendship, forgiveness, and new beginnings. Once upon a time, in a land far, far away, nestled between the majestic mountains that kissed the heavens and the glittering turquoise sea that stretched to the horizon, there was a peculiar retirement home. It was a place where dreams and myths came to life, where ancient legends found solace, and where the air was thick with the whispers of forgotten tales. This was not your ordinary retirement home, filled with seniors hunched over their games of bridge, sipping lukewarm tea and knitting scarves with trembling fingers. No, this was the Monsters' Retirement Home, a hidden sanctuary where mystical creatures of all shapes and sizes came to find respite from their wild adventures and mischievous escapades. The retirement home was an architectural marvel, a sprawling estate built from enchanted stones that shimmered with an otherworldly glow. Its lush gardens were filled with fantastical flora, some of which emitted soft, melodic tunes as they swayed in the gentle breeze. The towering trees stood guard like ancient sentinels, their branches adorned with lanterns that housed ethereal fireflies, illuminating the night with a warm, magical light. At the heart of the Monsters' Retirement Home was a grand, circular building with an intricately carved wooden door, guarded by a pair of benevolent stone gargoyles. Inside, the walls were adorned with tapestries that depicted the epic adventures of the residents, and the floors were covered in plush velvet carpets that cushioned every step. Each room within the home was carefully crafted to cater to the unique needs of its occupants. The mermaids had an indoor pool that replicated the ebb and flow of ocean tides, while the dragons had a cozy, fireproof den with a roaring hearth to keep them warm. The fairies had a room filled with enchanted flowers that never wilted, and the centaurs had an expansive courtyard where they could gallop freely beneath the open sky. The Monsters' Retirement Home was a place where the impossible was possible, where the legends of yore could lay down their burdens and find solace in the company of their fellow mystical beings. It was a sanctuary hidden from the prying eyes of the mortal world, a secret haven where the twilight of their lives could be spent in peace and harmony, surrounded by the magic that had shaped their existence. In the beginning, the Monsters' Retirement Home was but a dream in the mind of Alaric, a wise old wizard with a heart as vast as the cosmos. Alaric was a silver-bearded sorcerer who had traversed the world, witnessing the great feats and misdeeds of magical creatures from every corner of the realm. As the centuries passed, he recognized the toll that time took on even the mightiest of beasts and the most cunning of beings. Alaric envisioned a haven for these creatures, a sanctuary where they could retire from the chaos they had once sown and the battles they had fought. He understood that as they aged, their thirst for mayhem diminished, their once indomitable spirits yearning for respite. They deserved a place to live out their golden years in peace, surrounded by others who shared their enchanting histories and understood their unique needs. With great determination and boundless compassion, Alaric set out to make his vision a reality. He scoured the land for the perfect location, eventually finding an untouched valley nestled between the towering mountains and the shimmering sea. It was a place where the elements converged, creating an idyllic landscape that was both serene and awe-inspiring. Alaric poured his heart and soul into the creation of the Monsters' Retirement Home, employing his vast knowledge of magic and architectural design to ensure that every detail was perfect. He called upon the finest artisans and craftsmen from across the land, guiding them in the construction of a sanctuary that would serve as a monument to the lives and legacies of its residents. As word spread of Alaric's creation, mystical beings from all walks of life began to flock to the monster's retirement home, seeking solace from their pasts and companionship with their peers. Alaric welcomed them with open arms, offering them a place where they could finally rest and find peace amidst the gentle whispers of the enchanted woods and the soothing melody of the sea. The monster's retirement home became a testament to Alaric's wisdom, compassion, and foresight. He continued to lead the community with kindness and patience, his once youthful visage now lined with the marks of time. He took great joy in watching the residents grow and adapt to their new lives, their weary hearts healing in the embrace of the sanctuary he had built for them. And thus, the legend of the monster's retirement home and its benevolent founder, Alaric, lived on in the hearts and minds of its grateful residents. The retirement home was a veritable treasure trove of fascinating characters, each with their own unique story that could fill volumes of books. Their tales were woven into the very fabric of the home, their presence an enchanting blend of myth and reality that could captivate anyone fortunate enough to hear their stories. Fafnir, the giant fire-breathing dragon, was a sight to behold. His scales shimmered like molten gold, reflecting the sun's rays in a dazzling array of colors. He had once guarded a hoard of gold and precious gems in a hidden cavern deep within the mountains, his fearsome presence a deterrent to any who dared approach. But as the centuries passed, Fafnir's once insatiable desire for wealth waned, and he grew weary of his solitary existence. At the monster's retirement home, he found solace in the company of fellow creatures who, like him, had left behind their past lives for a quieter existence. Serena, the enchanting mermaid, was a creature of captivating beauty and grace. Her iridescent tail shimmered as she glided effortlessly through the water, and her long flowing hair was like spun silk. Serena's voice was her most remarkable trait, a melody so haunting and ethereal that it could captivate sailors, luring them to their doom upon the treacherous rocks. But the weight of her actions eventually took a toll on Serena, and she sought refuge in the monster's retirement home. There, she discovered a newfound appreciation for her voice, using it to regale her fellow residents with tales of the deep and the mysteries of the ocean. Zephyros, the noble griffin, was a magnificent blend of lion and eagle, his powerful wings stretching wide as he soared through the skies. With the keen eyes of an eagle and the strength of a lion, he had spent centuries protecting the realm from unseen threats, his loyalty and valor unmatched. However, as the world evolved and the need for his guardianship waned, Zephyros found himself longing for a place to rest his weary wings. At the monster's retirement home, he discovered a newfound sense of camaraderie and purpose, watching over the residents as a wise and benevolent guardian. These were but a few of the extraordinary beings who called the monster's retirement home their sanctuary. Each resident had a unique story to tell, their lives a rich tapestry of adventure, heartache, triumph, and loss. And it was within the hallowed halls of the retirement home that they found solace and companionship, their pasts woven together to create a vibrant and enduring legacy for generations to come. Life in the monster's retirement home was a harmonious blend of tranquility and spirited joy, a haven where ancient beings found comfort and camaraderie in their twilight years. The air was filled with laughter and the sweet melodies of forgotten songs as the elderly monsters celebrated the lives they had lived and the friendships they had forged. Each day began with a sumptuous breakfast in the grand dining hall, where the residents gathered to share stories and indulge in culinary delights crafted by the home's talented chef, a gourmet goblin named Gourmetus. The meals were tailored to the unique preferences of each resident, from Fafnir's sizzling hot platter of smoked meats to Serena's exquisite array of fresh, ocean-caught seafood. After breakfast, the elderly monsters would engage in a variety of activities designed to keep their minds sharp and their spirits high. They played fantastical games like Dragon's Chess, where the pieces came to life and enacted their moves on the board, or Fairy's Hide and Seek, where the players shrank to the size of a thimble and hid among the enchanted garden's flora. As the day wore on, the residents could be found strolling through the picturesque surroundings of the home, enjoying the serene beauty of the enchanted woods or the calming melody of the nearby sea. The gardens were a sight to behold, filled with vibrant, magical flowers that changed colors with the mood of the beholder, and ancient trees that whispered the secrets of ages past. Evenings at the monsters' retirement home were a time for reflection and relaxation. The residents would gather around the crackling hearth in the grand lounge, sharing tales of their past exploits and the lessons they had learned along the way. The room would echo with laughter, wisdom, and the occasional mischievous prank as the monsters reveled in the bonds they had formed with one another. As night fell and the stars began to twinkle in the sky, the elderly monsters would retire to their chambers, each one designed to cater to their unique needs and preferences. The gentle lullaby of the sea and the rustling of the leaves would lull them into a peaceful slumber, their dreams filled with memories of the lives they had lived and the adventures they had shared. In the monsters' retirement home, the twilight years were a time of peace, laughter, and camaraderie. The residents found solace in one another's company, their days a testament to the enduring power of friendship and the magic that could be found in even the most unexpected places. One fateful day, under a sky painted with hues of pink and orange, a new resident arrived at the monsters' retirement home, Morpheus, a mischievous and cunning shapeshifter with the ability to take on the form of any creature or object he desired. His arrival was heralded by a sudden gust of wind, ruffling the leaves of the ancient trees and carrying with it the scent of distant lands and untamed adventures. Upon his arrival, Morpheus was welcomed with open arms by the residents and the ever-gracious Alaric. They showed him around the expansive grounds, introducing him to the home's many luxuries and enchantments. But as the days passed, Morpheus found himself growing restless, the peaceful nature of the home a stark contrast to the chaos and excitement that had filled his previous life. He couldn't help but crave the thrill of mischief, the exhilarating rush of plunging the world around him into a whirlwind of mayhem. And so, as the sun dipped below the horizon and the moon cast its silvery glow over the home, Morpheus hatched a plan to liven things up. In the dead of night, Morpheus would slip through the shadows, assuming the form of various creatures and objects to play mischievous pranks on his fellow residents. He would transform into a tiny imp and rearrange Fafnir's treasure hoard, or assume the guise of a mischievous sprite, sprinkling sneezing powder on Zephyros's feathers. The once serene retirement home soon became a playground for Morpheus's antics, much to the confusion and chagrin of the other residents. As the days wore on, Morpheus's pranks grew bolder and more elaborate. He would cause paintings to come to life and chase the elderly monsters down the hallways, or transform into an enormous serpent and slither through the gardens, startling the residents who had come to cherish the peaceful surroundings. Despite the uproar that his mischief caused, Morpheus couldn't deny the thrill that coursed through him with every prank. He reveled in the chaos he created, his hunger for excitement temporarily sated with each new trick. But as the residents of the monster's retirement home began to suspect the true identity of the prankster in their midst, Morpheus would soon discover that even the most cunning of creatures can find themselves outsmarted by the bonds of friendship and the power of unity. In the middle of the night, under the cloak of darkness, Morpheus hatched his most audacious plan yet. He learned of Alaric's magical staff, a powerful relic that had been passed down through generations of wizards. The staff was a magnificent creation, carved from the wood of the ancient elder tree, and adorned with shimmering gemstones that held within them the very essence of the elements. With the staff in hand, its wielder could manipulate the forces of nature, bending them to their will. Morpheus couldn't resist the temptation. He craved the power that the staff promised. He imagined the anarchy he could create within the retirement home, envisioning grand illusions and elemental chaos that would leave his fellow residents in awe and trepidation. It would be his masterpiece, a testament to his cunning and his insatiable appetite for mischief. As the other residents slept soundly, Morpheus slinked through the dimly lit corridors of the home, his form shifting and changing with every step. He took the guise of a shadowy wisp, slipping beneath doors and through keyholes, his eyes fixed on his prize. He knew that Alaric kept the staff in his private chamber, nestled within a hidden alcove, guarded by a series of magical enchantments. Drawing upon his innate cunning and vast knowledge of magic, Morpheus carefully disarmed the enchantments, one by one, his heart racing with anticipation. He felt a thrill unlike any he had ever experienced, the prospect of such power within his grasp driving him forward. Finally, he reached the alcove, and there, bathed in the soft glow of moonlight, lay Alaric's magical staff. With trembling hands, Morpheus lifted the staff, feeling its power surge through him like a tidal wave. He could sense the raw energy of the elements, swirling and crackling within the gemstones, waiting to be unleashed. As Morpheus reveled in the power of Alaric's magical staff, he noticed something else glinting in the moonlight, tucked away in a corner of the alcove. It was a mysterious amulet, a piece he had never seen before. The amulet was a breathtaking work of art, forged from the finest gold and adorned with a single mesmerizing gemstone that seemed to pulse with an otherworldly light. Intrigued by its beauty and the aura of power that surrounded it, Morpheus couldn't resist taking the amulet as well. Little did Morpheus know that, as he fastened the cursed amulet around his neck, the gemstone pulsed with a sinister energy, activating the curse that lay within it. The curse, once unleashed, began to weave its dark magic, slowly stripping Morpheus of the shape-shifting abilities that had defined his existence and brought him so much excitement and joy. As the days passed, Morpheus started to notice subtle changes in his abilities. What was once a seamless transformation from one form to another now became a struggle, the process laborious and marred by imperfections. His once flawless control over his shape-shifting gradually began to falter, and Morpheus was filled with a growing sense of dread, the realization that his most prized ability was slipping away. At first, the other residents of the monster's retirement home were unaware of Morpheus's plight, still reeling from the malevolent deeds he had committed under the influence of the amulet's curse. But as they observed his struggles, they began to suspect that something more was at play. The Morpheus they had come to know, despite his mischievous nature, had never displayed such a lust for destruction. United by their concern for their fellow resident and their determination to uncover the truth, the monsters set aside their differences and worked together, pooling their knowledge and resources to investigate the mysterious amulet. Their search led them to ancient tomes and forgotten legends, where they discovered the amulet's true nature and the terrible curse it bore. Realizing that Morpheus was as much a victim of the amulet's curse as they were, the residents of the monster's retirement home vowed to do everything in their power to save their friend and restore his shape-shifting abilities. It would be a race against time as they delved into the realms of forgotten magic and ancient rituals to break the curse and return Morpheus to the creature he once was. Together, the diverse residents of the monster's retirement home embarked on an epic quest to find the cure for the amulet's curse, their shared purpose uniting them in ways they had never imagined. This perilous journey would test their strength, their wits, and their resolve as they ventured through lands both familiar and strange, braving treacherous obstacles and overcoming seemingly insurmountable challenges. Throughout their quest, the monsters forged strong bonds of friendship, their disparate backgrounds and unique abilities complementing one another and allowing them to surmount even the most daunting of trials. They faced towering mountain ranges, roamed through dense enchanted forests, and navigated the mysterious depths of the ocean, their determination never wavering. Their journey ultimately led them to an ancient library, hidden deep within a long-forgotten cavern. This library, a repository of knowledge from ages past, held the key to breaking the curse that had befallen Morpheus. As they delved into the labyrinthine stacks of dusty tomes and crumbling scrolls, the monsters discovered a hidden scroll that bore the secret they sought, a potion capable of undoing the amulet's curse and restoring Morpheus's shape-shifting abilities. This powerful potion, however, required a set of rare and potent ingredients, each hailing from the respective habitats of the monsters themselves. Fafnir would need to provide a scale from his once impenetrable hide, Sirena, a tear from the depths of the ocean's abyss, and Zephyros, a feather plucked from the highest point of his majestic wingspan. Gathering these ingredients would prove to be yet another challenge for the intrepid residents of the monster's retirement home. They would need to journey back to their ancestral homes, facing their own fears and demons along the way. But in the face of adversity, the bonds they had forged would prove stronger than any obstacle, their unwavering dedication to saving their friend driving them forward towards the ultimate goal, breaking the curse and restoring Morpheus to his true self. With their newfound sense of unity, the residents of the monster's retirement home set out to gather the necessary ingredients for the potion. Each monster faced their own personal challenges and confronted their pasts as they journeyed back to their ancestral homes, the memories of their former lives both a source of strength and a reminder of the paths they had chosen. Fafnir, the once fierce dragon, scaled the highest peak of his mountain lair to retrieve a scale that had been shed in his youth, when his hide had been at its strongest. As he gazed out over the landscape, he was reminded of the centuries he had spent guarding his treasure hoard and the isolation that had accompanied his reign of fire and fury. Sirena, the enchanting mermaid, dove into the darkest depths of the ocean to collect a tear she had shed long ago, when her heart had been broken by the loss of a sailor she had once loved. The journey took her to the forgotten ruins of an ancient shipwreck, where she was confronted by the memories of the sailors she had lured to their doom with her captivating voice. Zephyros, the noble griffin, soared higher than he had in years, ascending to the highest point in the sky where the air was thin and the winds fierce. It was there that he found a single perfect feather from his youth, a time when his wings had been untarnished by age and his strength and swiftness unmatched. Upon reuniting at the ancient library, The residents of the monster's retirement home, each bearing their hard-won ingredient, set to work on brewing the potion that would break the amulet's curse. Under Alaric's watchful eye and guided by the ancient scroll, they meticulously combined the ingredients, stirring the mixture in a cauldron over a carefully controlled flame. As they worked, they recited the incantations etched in the scroll, infusing the potion with powerful magic that would counteract the curse. As the potion's surface began to shimmer with an iridescent glow, signaling its completion, the monsters knew that the time had come to set things right. With hope in their hearts and the bonds of friendship to support him, Morpheus bravely drank the potion, feeling its potent magic surge through his body. The curse, sensing its impending defeat, twisted and writhed in a final attempt to maintain its grip on Morpheus. But ultimately, the power of their collective will and the magic of the potion prevailed, breaking the amulet's curse and restoring Morpheus's shape-shifting abilities. Overwhelmed with gratitude and newfound clarity, Morpheus humbly returned the stolen magical staff to Alaric, deeply apologizing for his misdeeds and the trouble he had caused. Though his actions had put the entire retirement home in danger, Morpheus had learned valuable lessons about friendship, trust, and the consequences of his actions. Alaric, wise and compassionate, understood the power of the amulet's curse and the struggle Morpheus had faced. He graciously forgave Morpheus, acknowledging that every creature, no matter how mischievous or fearsome, has its own path to redemption. The other residents, witnessing the heartfelt exchange between Morpheus and Alaric, were inspired by the power of forgiveness and the importance of second chances. As the monster's retirement home returned to its peaceful, tranquil state, the bonds between its residents had grown stronger than ever. Their shared quest had shown them the power of unity, friendship, and redemption. And while they continued to enjoy their golden years, regaling one another with tales of their past exploits, they knew that they had forged a bond that could weather any storm, and that together they could face whatever challenges life might bring. And thus, the monster's retirement home continued to thrive as a sanctuary for its elderly residents, a place where they could find respite from their past adventures and forge new connections with those who understood their unique experiences. The bonds of friendship and forgiveness that had been formed during their harrowing quest had transformed the home into a haven of love, understanding, and acceptance. The magic of new beginnings permeated the very air, inviting each resident to embrace their golden years with open hearts and newfound wisdom. As the years went by, the once disparate residents became inseparable, their camaraderie and affection for one another growing stronger with each passing day. They spent their days basking in the warmth of their friendships, exploring the picturesque surroundings of the retirement home, and indulging in spirited games and activities that brought joy and laughter to their hearts. In the evenings, as the sun dipped below the horizon and cast a golden glow over their magical world, the residents would gather around the hearth, sharing stories of their past exploits and lessons learned. These tales, filled with adventure, danger, and redemption, were passed down to future generations of mystical creatures, ensuring that the legacy of the monster's retirement home would live on for centuries to come. And so, the residents of the monster's retirement home lived out their days in peace and harmony, their hearts warmed by the power of friendship and forgiveness, and their spirits buoyed by the magic of new beginnings. And as the sun set on their enchanted world, they knew that they had found a true home where they could live out their remaining years surrounded by love, laughter, and the enduring bonds they had forged. Together, they had found their happily ever after.